Dancing at the powwow and singing at the drum, powerful tools of the native people to promote community, wellness, and healing. During this presentation, it is my goal to discuss at least four topics of personal interest regarding the powwow, a rich Native American cultural meme with roots reaching back into forgotten times. I cannot begin to cover every aspect of this rich tradition, or this video could easily end up hours long and divided into multiple parts. Instead, it is my goal to discuss some of the things that I thought were the most important for the average person to know. Beginning with the history of the powwow, then covering the powwow lifestyle, what happens behind the scenes to make some of these powwows happen, and finally give some personal perspective and experiences of the powwow here in Fairbanks, Alaska. The powwow has a long historical tradition of indigenous people gathering to celebrate for some cause. The history of the powwow is rooted deep into Native American culture, having been celebrated for centuries. While no one is exactly sure when the first celebration occurred, there is some strong conjecture of where it originated, possibly by Plains Indians such as the Lakota, Cheyenne, or Arapaho tribes. This event has long held significance in its role primarily for the community to gather, share resources, and to celebrate. There can be a myriad of reasons, such as weddings, hunting and harvest celebrations, or simply having a party for the fun of having one. For a long time, powwows were celebrated without qualms until Europeans began to colonize the Americas through the 1800s. Suddenly, Native Americans found themselves being persecuted by the Euro-American wars that ensued, resulting in some victories and even more devastating losses for indigenous people across the lands, resulting in natives being forced to live on reservations with limited resources and their cultures being stripped and demonized as barbaric and savage. At the time it was illegal for native people to use their cultural practice normally, a businessman was turning the culture to turn a profit, was using the culture to turn a profit for a popular show called Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show. This show traveled throughout North America and Europe from 1883 to 1913. This led to native people having to modify their regalia, songs, dances to meet the tempo of the performative nature of the theater. While it was unfavorable for the natives to be exploited, it gave an excuse for native people to leave the reservations, provided economic opportunity to provide for their families back on reservations, and most importantly, it allowed the community to openly express their culture and reunite with their community. A lifestyle at the powwow. Powwows play a pivotal role in preserving indigenous culture, identity, and tradition. They restore relationships and foster a sense of pride amongst Native people, countering the negative perceptions perpetuated by colonial histories and affirming cultural values within contemporary society. Powwow culture has served to highlight the significance and beauty of indigenous people, inspiring a sense of Native pride wherever Native people may go and perform. This matters a lot because Euro colonist practices had disparaged and created a perspective of Native people as a group of uncultured people. So, to dispel that degrading myth, Native people hold public powwows, with the first one happening in Gallup, New Mexico around 1929. This event called for natives to gather from around the U.S. to display their culture with pride. Culture with pride. Where was I? Where was I? Now the powwow is a prominent cultural meme used by many indigenous cultures around the world in some fashion. Traditional powwows are a free community event, but larger events such as competitive powwow may have an admission fee. While the primary focus of the powwow is dancing and singing to indigenous music, there may be other events as well, such as rodeos, fashion shows, music awards, competitions, games, and more. It is all about having fun and being with the community while celebrating the indigenous culture. The larger community powwows are typically held annually, but they can also be used in smaller settings, such as a family reunion, a cultural exhibition at like a school or something, or more informally as a small or as a small gathering of friends. Either way, the powwow is a central community gathering where everyone is encouraged to dress in their best regalia or outfit, then share food, gifts, and merrymaking of joyful experiences. Oh, dancing. Various dance styles are showcased at powwows, including the fancy dance, traditional dance, grass dance, and jingle dress dance, as well as many other types of dances. Each dance carries its own cultural significance, often representing unique stories, challenges, and triumphs from indigenous life, promoting a sense of pride and belonging in the community. Drumming is the heartbeat of the powwow. It initiates the ceremony and guides all the dancers. It symbolizes the connection of the earth to the community, while encouraging emotional expression through rhythm. The drumbeat resonates with ancestral traditions, strengthening cultural identity and promoting unity during these gatherings. Singing. Each dance and song performed during a powwow conveys historical narratives and ancestral teachings. From the stories of bravery to cultural legends, these expressions honor the past while fostering continuity of traditions and values within present day indigenous communities. And here's a picture of the Soaring Eagle Drum Group at the Powwow from 2023, which I had the pleasure of being a part of. Um, I've been a part of Soaring Eagle Drum, which introduced me to the powwow 2 years ago. I've watched a community come together and show up and dance all night under the midnight sun of Alaska to spend time together unapologetically. Soaring Eagle is an intertribal drum group which encourages all people to participate, native or non native. I have been a proud member of Soaring Eagle for 3 years now, along with my wife and several friends. When I spoke with our drumkeeper Tanya, she said the powwow was an everyday part of her life for her, recalling going as early as the age of 4 years old. Now she leads Soaring Eagle Drum Group, which is an intertribal drum group. The drum is a crucial aspect of a powwow gathering as it represents Mother Earth and is played in a way to represent the rotation of the planet around the sun. Because without the drum, there would be no powwow. When played harmoniously, the drum sounds a lot like a heartbeat, portraying the heartbeat of the community and the movement of spirit in the songs and the dancers. And when we sing to celebrate and to mourn, to bring the community together from far and wide, and to honor those who came before us, the warriors, the elders, the protectors, the leaders, with songs of strength, of grace and reverence at the powwow. And so, in my personal experience, the powwow has always been a wonderful time to get together and see those that you haven't seen in forever, or make new acquaintances because that's what I do when I go to the powwow. Here are my references. Um, hope this has been educational for anybody listening to it, and thanks for being a part of this